To present the Book for Young People Awards, we're pleased to have with us Joan Bauer, the great Joan Bauer, a New York Times best-selling author, winner of the Newbery Honor Medal, and two-time Christopher Award winner in this category. Joan's 13 young adult novels remain very popular because they contain strong doses of hope, humor, and heart. That especially holds true for her latest book, which is called Soar. It's not a medical book, though, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. No, just curious.
In the third draft, I thought about it. No,
Cheap joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's the story of a 12-year-old baseball fan who can't play the game himself because of a serious heart condition, but he does unexpectedly fulfill his dream of being a coach. Please welcome Joan Bauer.
You know, I love presenting at the Christopher Awards. I think it's my 8th time. I sort of stopped counting. And what I love most about it, is there's so much hope in the room. Each and every year, you can just feel it bouncing off the walls. But before I present the awards for young people, I just want to tell you a short story. And I'm remembering all week long, I remembered this girl several years ago when I spoke at a library in Virginia, and she had bright pink hair, which is the first thing I noticed about her. She came into the room with her English class. She was in high school, and with her English teacher. She was with the class, but she wasn't with the class. And the first thing she did was she took her chair, she looked at me, and then she took her chair, and she went as far back into the room as you could possibly go, away from the speaker. She sat in her chair, she folded her arms, looked colossally irritated, and then lowered her head. And for most of my presentation, that's how she sat. And the only reason I knew that she was still with us was she occasionally tapped her toe, tapped her foot, and every once in a while she would look up, and she would just roll her eyes and just seem so colossally frustrated at being there. And it was really hard to have that in the back as a speaker. And I'm convinced that if that had been the first time I'd ever spoken, I would not be up here today. I gotta tell you something. I would have gone off, to look for some other kind of career where they're always happy to see you, like being a cocktail waitress or something like that. But finally, my presentation was over. And she just breathed a sigh of relief, and she ran out the door like a bird, set free from a cage. And I thought, geez, the one who got away. And the reason that hurt me so much was that when I was in high school, I too was a slumper. I too could roll my eyes with the best of them. And I wanted to reach that girl so much. I had even lobbed all my best jokes right at her. I did everything that a speaker's not supposed to do. You're not supposed to pay attention to the ones that aren't paying attention to you. You're so grateful for the ones who are smiling at you, and you want them to know that you care. But that night for me, it was just that girl and me, and I failed her. It was hard. After the book signing, after people were beginning to leave, I looked toward the door, and I saw her peeking inside. And she came in, and she ran up to me, and I'll never forget, she grabbed my hand. And she said, "Mrs. Bauer, I just have to tell you, I've read every book you've ever written." I thought, what? And she said, "I wish I could talk to you. I said, "You can talk to me. We can sit down. We can." She said, no, I've got to go right away. And she ran out the door. I threw my email at her. I thought maybe I could give you my phone number, or I could give you my husband's phone number. His phone works better than mine. But she was gone, and I never heard from her again. And I've thought about her so often lately. In this world, as the days get more complicated and as kids shut down from all the pressure around them, as confusion and terror just seems to be on every side, and as the rage in society, it just seems to be masquerading as the new confidence. But there's something about a story from the heart that comes from the heart of a person, and it goes into the heart of a person. And a story like that, the kinds of stories, all the storytelling in all the different forms that we're celebrating tonight, it doesn't care about what the headlines say. It doesn't give a rip about that at all. But those kinds of stories find their way through the cracks. They can just wiggle under the doors. And they're kind of like a Trojan horse, you know? They're just going to ram it through the wall until these impenetrable walls come down. So to every winner tonight, I just want to say it's such an honor to be here, to honor you. And we celebrate your strength. We celebrate your amazing hope. And now, for the best part, onto the books for young people. Just a minute. Tom, you glued this together, didn't you? No. You didn't do that? Okay. All right. For preschool and up, and oh, these little ones are so cute. One Good Deed by Terry Fields, illustrated by Deborah Melman, published by Car-Ben Publishing. Even on sunny days. You know what? I brought the wrong glasses. Is that possible? It is indeed. Okay. No. It's fine. No, I'm okay. It's very big print because it's for children. Okay. Even on sunny days. Lancaster Street seems dark and gloomy because neighbors don't smile at each other, talk to each other, even help each other very much. But that all changes when a boy named Jake decides to give some fresh berries that he picked to an elderly neighbor. The woman is so delighted that she makes an extra pie to give to another neighbor. And the ripple effects of kindness continue, and soon Lancaster Street is full of friendship and sunshine, even on gloomy days, all because of one good deed. We are so pleased to have with us tonight author Terry Fields. Congratulations, it's good. And for kindergarten and up, An Invisible Thread Christmas Story by Laura Schroff, Alex Tresniowski, and illustrated by Barry Root, published by Little Simon, Simon & Schuster. At age 11, Maurice Mazik asked a stranger on the streets of Manhattan if she had any spare change. The stranger was Laura Schroff, and she decided to buy Maurice lunch instead. Boy, those moments. A friendship was born that day between the advertising executive and the boy who lived in a shelter hotel. When Laura discovered that Maurice had never celebrated a real Christmas, she gave him presents under her tree on a fun-filled day with her extended family. The two of them embraced the spirit of the season that year, and it forever changed their lives for the better. We are so pleased to have with us author Laura Schroff, and we also want to recognize the young man who inspired Laura in this book, Maurice Mazik.
Congratulations.
For ages 6 and up, Poet, written and illustrated by Don Tate, published by Peachtree Publishers. The Bible readings and hymns he heard as a boy taught George Moses Horton to love words, but because he was a slave, he had to teach himself how to read, and then his own words just flowed. George composed poetry which he recited on the University of North Carolina's campus while selling fruit for his master's farms. He gained a wide following and became the first Southern African-American man to be a published writer. George finally gained his freedom at age 66. But as author Don Tate writes, oh, I love this, words loosened the chains of bondage long before his last day as a slave. Accepting for author and illustrator Don Tate is the president and publisher of Peachtree Publishers, Margaret M. Quinlan. For ages 8 and up, Katie's Cabbage by Katie Stagliano and Michelle H. Martin, illustrated by Karen Hyde, published by Young Palmetto Books, University of South Carolina Press. As a third grader, Katie Stagliano planted a cabbage seedling in her yard for a class project. That seedling soon grew into a 40-pound cabbage. After her parents told Katie that many families go to bed hungry every night, she donated her cabbage to a local ministry where it fed 275 people. That experience inspired Katie to grow more food to feed the hungry and invite others to do the same. Her project is now a national youth movement that aims to end hunger one vegetable garden at a time. Author Katie Stagliano sends her regrets at not being able to attend, so we accept this award on her behalf. And for ages 10 and up, Firefly Hallo by Allison McGee, illustrated by Christopher Denise, published by Athenaeum Books for young readers, Simon & Schuster. Cricket and you're over in that section, aren't you? Yes, I can see that. That's great. Celebration has begun. Cricket and Firefly are taught to fear the world outside their hollow, but they both harbor big dreams. Firefly wants to touch the moon while Cricket yearns to be a catcher like his idol Yogi Berra. When the two creatures befriend a wise old river vole and a lonely boy named Peter, they form a bond that inspires them to overcome their fears, move beyond self-imposed limits, and even deal with grief. In the end, this unique band of adventurers learn that dreams sometimes have to evolve in order to be fulfilled. Please welcome Allison McGee and illustrator Christopher Denise. And by the way, in case anybody was wondering why you write for children, one of the many, many reasons you write for children is the fan mail that you get. And one of my first letters that I treasure, I put it in plastic, after I visited a school. A young boy wrote me and he said, "Dear Mrs. Bauer, you are my absolute favorite writer in the entire world. Someday I hope to read something that you've written." But I digress. For young adults, Paper Hearts by Meg Wiviat. Did I say that right? Wiviat, great. Published by Margaret K. McElderry. Books Simon & Schuster. In the Auschwitz concentration camp, a Jewish girl named Zlatka risked death at the hands of her Nazi captors by creating an origami heart for her best friend, Fanya's birthday, and having her fellow captives sign it as well. This act of friendship in an otherwise dehumanizing environment gave the girls the hope they needed to survive. Inspired by a true story, this powerful novel in verse reminds us, in Zlatka's own words, everything in life passes like a wave over a rushing river. Only true love stays faithful forever. Please welcome author Meg Wiviat. And that completes the Books for Young People Awards, and we recognize and applaud all of you for your dedication to young readers.